Basic information you need to know when you begin to learn. In part 1, there are 3 sets of about 3 to 4 questions, a total of 12 questions. The first set consists of questions related to your home, studies, or work. The second and third sets include questions about hobbies, weather, your favorites, and many more personal and common topics. This takes 4 to 5 minutes in length for 12 questions. The number of questions you receive depends on your fluency. Tips to remember in answering Part 1. Answer questions rightly. Provide answers which directly answer the questions. Do not go around the bush. To effectively answer questions, learn more words, particularly the familiar words, to be able to comprehend phrases and questions. For beginners, the best method I suggest is to memorize words, know their meanings, and apply them in speaking and writing. For higher levels, collect synonyms and antonyms of words. To check your understanding, you may talk with friends who are at least better than you or talk with your English language teachers. Comprehension is important to provide direct and relevant answers. Provide appropriate length. Your answer should not be too short or too long. As a rule of thumb, provide direct answers and briefly elaborate. Some questions can be answered by 1 to 3 sentences, including additional detail. 1 to 3 word answers are not recommended. The examiner does not have any chance to mark your ability. Other questions are answered by longer ones, for they need explanations. Learn connecting words, which are the keys to expanding your answers. Some of the connecting words are because, but, although, however, even though, despite, and many more. In this sample question, what is your favorite food? A possible answer is, any home-cooked food is my favorite, but I particularly like sautéed vegetables, which is a combination of beans, carrots, cabbage, and sprouts. I eat it almost every day because it is fresh, natural, and nutritious. The connecting words but and because naturally connected details of the answer. Awareness and consistency in verb tenses. Part 1 does not necessarily require you to use all ranges of verb tenses. However, you should be ready to use simple present, simple past, and simple future tenses, and have ideas of the best tense to use based on verb tenses of questions. In this sample question, how did you spend your time last weekend? A sample answer is, I visited my favorite cafe and drank a cup of black coffee. Since it rained, I sat down there and studied an article to kill time. In the evening, my husband and I walked in the city park just to breathe fresh air. This answer uses simple past verb tense because the actions happen in the past and are finished and completed. In the second question, what is your plan for the coming weekend? A possible answer is, I have a treat for my spring visit in a hot spring this Saturday. I'm going to soak in a hot pool for hours and have a body massage to refresh and relax. The first sentence uses simple present is, and the second sentence uses be going to, indicating that the succeeding events are sure to happen. To be consistent in verb tenses, do your best to use the verb tense which corresponds to the tenses from which you are answering. If you are speaking about an action after it happened, use the past tense. If you are speaking about an action that's still happening, use the present tense. Use adverbs of frequency. Words expressing frequency are common in developing Part 1 answers. These are important to use in modifying other words, the verbs, adjectives, other adverbs, and the entire sentences. They include always, usually, normally, generally, often, frequently, sometimes, occasionally, seldom, hardly ever, rarely, and never. Establish the appropriate vocabulary skill. The most appropriate words to use in Part 1 are everyday words. Most questions are personal and do not ask for academic words, which means use words suitable to answer informal questions. Then, if you have a sufficient number of common words, it is easier to effectively paraphrase. Phrases, collocations, and idioms used in daily talks are useful to make the answer more natural. Few of the most popular verb phrases during my students' practices are hang out, keep on, look for, put off, turn up, turn down, work out, come down, catch up, and many more. Here are also a few of most used collocations in my classes. Make trouble, make a point. Make an appointment, make sense. Make progress, do business, do exercise, have a bath, have a drink, have a good time, have a holiday, have a problem, and many more. These listed idioms are few of the many which are easy to apply in Part 1. Go Dutch, make ends meet, finding my feet, a couch potato, bring home the bacon, my cup of tea, under the weather, once in a blue moon. Well, your sentences sound natural when you are accustomed to using phrases, collocations, and idioms in your daily conversations. If your English level is proficient and you are just familiarizing yourself to the format of the exam, go ahead and use words, academic words, or any words at any level appropriate to answer a topic. Just be conversational. Enunciate words. You should speak words clearly so the examiner understands what you say without changes in the meaning you want to convey. Do not worry about your accent. If you are aiming for a higher score, your pronunciation should be consistently clear. List words you have difficulty saying, then practice their intonation and stress. You may also use dictionaries to figure out proper stress and pronunciation of words and familiar to you. If you search the word famous in the dictionary, you can see famous. You will learn that the stress is the first syllable indicated by the stress mark, and the schwa symbol is pronounced as not o as spelled. You may also use the audio function to listen to the words you are checking on. Do the same with other unfamiliar words to you. Have a method. For the past years, I've been coaching students to achieve their goal score in speaking. I observe the method, listen, read, and practice, which is the main goal of creating this YouTube channel, beneficial at all levels, especially to those who are self-learn. Beginners can learn the most important factors at their learning stage: words, phrases, basic sentence patterns, and structures and pronunciation. For higher level learners, they can learn phrases, idioms, more complicated sentence structures, stress, and intonation. All level learners can train their listening skills and creativity. When they hear how ideas and sentences are connected to form answers, they can come up with beautiful answers. I encourage you to apply this approach so you can see how it works. Practice efficiently through the method, listen, read, and practice. Listen to sample answers, read the sample answers, and practice answering questions with your ideas. Finally, one goal at a time. If you are studying by yourself, I suggest you to follow this checklist in sequence to make sure your practice is not in vain. Collect common topics. Do a research of common words used to talk about the topics. Learn their pronunciation and stress. Study basic sentence patterns. Study sentence structures. Then start answering questions. If you think you level up in these basics of grammar and vocabulary, watch the succeeding videos for your next goals to improve.